Om Sai Ram. Welcome to Namma Sai. Thanks for being here for today's chapter 2. We'll just take an open story and listen to 2 minutes. What is that which we got to take away today from chapter 2? A traveler was walking through a dense forest at night. He had a map, but he could not see the road. Just then one guide came and he somehow arrived from somewhere carrying a small lantern. He started walking in front of him. The traveler wondered, how come? I always thought I need full light to travel everywhere and find my way. But then this guide has a small lantern which is just showing me enough light to take the next step. Sometimes we all do this mistake. In our life we think God has to give us everything at once. And we expect that He show us the entire future to all of us. So our Sai sometimes will opt to show only the next step, because that's all we need now. We need not know the entire future. Om Sai Ram. Welcome to Namma Sai family. Today we'll continue to do our sacred journey through Shri Sai Satcharitra. Let us not only read Sai Baba's life, but also discover how his teachings can guide our own path. Let's do an opening prayer together. Dear Sai, guide our minds with wisdom, fill our hearts with humility, and help us trust your guidance even when we cannot see the whole path. May this chapter bring peace to everyone and every listener over here. Om Sai Ram. So, today evening we have an opportunity to listen to the chapter 2, and if you have the book with you, all of you can just stop to read yourselves, or you can follow me while reading chapter 2. So, Sai's message for today is that chapter 2 reminds us that a guru is not someone who controls our life, a guru who helps us see clearly. Okay, Sai Baba teaches that when we surrender our ego, fear, doubt, wisdom begins to shine. Sometimes we ask, why is this happening only to me? So Sai gently changes the question to, what is this experience teaching me? When we trust the Guru Sai, every challenge becomes an opportunity to growth. Okay, so let's read the chapter now. Then we do the Namma Sai reflection. We'll do the next steps. Thank you, all of you. So this is Sai Satcharitra. I'm opening chapter 2. we did chapter 1, grinding the flour. I hope all of you remember the last chapter. Okay, so chapter 2 is like this. Let's start. It's about incapacity and boldness in undertaking the work. Hemant Pant thought that he was not a fit person to undertake the work. He said, when I do not know the life of my intimate friend, nor do I know my own mind, then how can I write the life of a saint or describe the nature of incarnations, which even the Vedas were unable to do? One must be a saint himself before he could know other saints. Otherwise, how can I describe their glory? To write the life of a saint is the most difficult one. Thought one may as well be able to measure the depth of the water of the seven seas or enclose the sky with cloth trappings. I knew that this was the most venturous undertaking, which might expose me to ridicule. I therefore invoked Sai Baba's grace. Without his grace, we cannot do anything, right? So he sought his grace, then he started. The premier poet saint of Maharashtra, Shri Dhyaneshwar Maharaj, has stated that the Lord loves those who write the lives of saints, and the saints also have their own peculiar method of assigning the service, which the devotees long for. The saints inspire the work. The devotee becomes only an indirect cause or an instrument to achieve the end. For instance, in 1700 Shaka year, the poet Mahipati aspired to write the lives of saints. Saints inspired him and got the work done. To also in 1800 Shaka year, Das Ganu's service was accepted. Likewise, many saints, many poets came across some other person identified to assign their work. So the answer is very plain and simple. The life of Sai Baba is as wide and deep as the infinite ocean, and all can dive deep into the same and take out precious gems of knowledge and bhakti and distribute them to the aspiring people. The stories, parables, teachings of Sai Baba are very wonderful. They will give peace and happiness to the people who are afflicted with sorrows and heavily loaded with miseries of this worldly existence, and also bestow knowledge and wisdom both in worldly and in spiritual domains. So let's read what is chapter 2 got to make us learn today. Baba's Darshan. Okay, so I set about collecting Sai Baba's teachings and expressions, the outcome of his boundless self realization. It was Sai Baba who inspired me in this matter. In fact, I surrendered my ego at his feet and thought that my path was clear and that he would make me quite happy here and in this next world. I could not myself ask Sai Baba to give me permission for this work. So I requested Mr. Madhavrao Deshpande alias Sharma, Baba's most intimate devotee, to speak to him for me. He pleaded for my cause and said to Sai Baba, this Anna Sahib wishes to write your biography. Don't say that you are a poor fakir and there is no necessity to write it. But if you agree and help him, he will write, or rather, your grace will accomplish the work. Without your consent and blessing, nothing can be done successfully. When Sai Baba heard this request, he was moved and blessed me by giving me his Udi, sacred ash, and placing his boon bestowing hand on my head, said, "Let him make a collection of stories and experiences, keep notes and memos. I will help him. He is only an outward instrument. I should write my autobiography myself and satisfy the wishes of my devotees." What he also said is he should get rid of his ego, surrender it at my feet. He who acts like this in life, him I help the most. What of my life stories? I serve him in his house in all possible ways. When his ego is completely annihilated and there is left no trace of it, I myself shall enter into him, shall myself write my own life. Hearing my stories and teachings will create faith in devotees' hearts and they will easily get self realization and bliss. So wonderful. So Sai Baba not only gave uh, away an opportunity, but he also said how it has to be taken from him. Okay, so let's read what is the story all about. Story is yet to unveil. Okay, so I begin to relate the same. I was on close friendly terms with Kaka Sahib, Dikshit and Nana Sahib Chandorkar. They pressed me to go to Shirdi and have Baba's darshan, and I promised them to do so, but something in the meanwhile turned up, which prevented me from going to Shirdi. The son of a friend of mine at Lonavala fell ill. My friend tried all possible means, physical and spiritual, but the fever would not abate. At length, he got his guru to sit by the bedside of his son. But this too was of no avail. Hearing this, I thought, what was the utility of the guru if he could not save my friend's son? If the guru can't do anything for us, why should I go to Shirdi at all? Thinking this way, I postponed my Shirdi trip. But the inevitable must happen. And it happened. In my case, as follows: Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who was a divisional officer, was going on to Basel. From Thana, he came to Dadar and was waiting for a train bound for Basel. In the meanwhile, a Bandra local turned up. He sat in it and came to Bandra and sent for me and took me to task for putting off my Shirdi trip. Nana's argument for my Shirdi trip was convincing and delightful, and I so decided to start for Shirdi the same night. I packed up my baggage and started for Shirdi. I planned to go to Dadar and from there to catch the train for Manmad, and so I booked myself for Dadar and sat in the train. While the train was to start, a Mohammedan came hastily to my compartment and, seeing all my paraphernalia, asked me where I was bound to. I told him about my plan. He then suggested that I should go straight to Boribandar and not to wait at Dadar. As the Manmad mail did not stop at Dadar. If this little miracle or Leela had not happened, I would not have reached Shirdi next day, as settled, and many doubts would have assailed me. But that was not to be. As fortune favored me, I reached Shirdi the next day before 9 or 10 a.m. Mr. Babu Sahib Kaka Dikshit was waiting for me there. This was in 1910 when there was only one place, Sateswada, for lodging pilgrim devotees. After alighting from Tonga, I was anxious to have darshan. When the great devotee Tatya Sahib Nulkar returned from the masjid and said that Sai Baba was at the corner of the Wada and that I should first get the preliminary darshan and then, after bath, see him at leisure. Hearing this, I ran and prostrated before Baba, and my joy knew no bounds. I found more than what Nana Chandorkar had told me. All my senses were satisfied, and I forgot my thirst and hunger the moment I touched Sai Baba's feet. I began a new lease of life. I felt myself much obliged to those who spurred and helped me to get the darshan, and I considered them as my real relatives, and I cannot repay their debt. I only remember them and prostrate mentally before them. The peculiarity of Sai Baba's darshan, as I found it, is that by his darshan our thoughts are changed. The force of previous actions is abated and gradually non attachment or dispassion towards worldly objects grows up. It is by the merit of actions in many past births that such darshan is got. And if only you see Sai Baba, all the world becomes or assumes the form of Sai Baba. On the first day of my arrival in Shirdi, there was a discussion between me and Bala Sahib Bhate regarding the necessity of a guru. I contended, why should we lose our freedom and submit to others? When we have to do our duty, why a guru is necessary? One must try his best and save himself. What can the guru do to a man who does nothing but sleeps indolently? Thus, I pleaded free will while Mr. Bhate took up the other side. He says, whatever is bound to happen must happen. Even great men have failed. Man proposes one way, but God disposes the other way. A very, very famous saying. Brush aside your cleverness, pride, or egoism won't help you. This discussion, with all its pros and cons, went on for an hour or so, and as usual, no conclusion was arrived at. We had to stop the discussion ultimately as we were exhausted. The net result of this was that I lost my peace of mind and found that unless there is strong body consciousness and egoism, there would be no discussion. In other words, it is egoism which breeds discussion. It was his opinion. Okay. So then, when we went to the masjid with others, Baba asked Kaka Sahib Dikshit the following: what was going on in Sateswada? What was the discussion about? And staring at me, Baba further added, what did this Hemant Pant say? Hearing these words, I was much surprised. The masjid was at a considerable distance from Satewada. There I was staying and where the discussion was going on. How could Baba know our discussion unless he be omniscient and inner ruler of us all? I began to think why Sai Baba should call me by the name Hemant Pant. This word is a distorted form of Hemadri Pant. This Hemadri Pant was a well-known minister of the kings Mahadev and Ramdev of Devagiri of the Yadav dynasty. He was very learned good natured, and the author of works such as Chatu, Chaturvarga Chintamani, dealing with spiritual subjects, and Raja Prashasti. He invented and started new methods of accounts and was the originator of the Modi Marathi shorthand script. But I was quite the opposite, an ignoramus and of mediocre intellect. So I could not understand why the name of title was conferred upon me. But thinking seriously upon it, I thought I thought that the title was a dart to destroy my ego, so that I should always remain meek and humble. It was also a compliment paid to me for the cleverness in the discussion. Looking into the history, we think that Baba's word calling me Mr. Dabolkar by the name Hemad Pant was significant and prophetic, as we find that he looked after the management of Sai Sansthan very intelligently, kept all the accounts nicely, and was also the author of such a good work, Sai Satcharitra, which deals with such important and spiritual subjects as Dhyan, Bhakti, dispassion, self surrender, and self realization. About the necessity of a guru, Hemad Pant has left to no note, no memo about what Baba said regarding the subject. But Kaka Sahib Dikshit has published his notes regarding this matter next day after Hemad Pant's meeting with Sai Baba. Kaka Sahib went to Baba and asked Baba where to go. Baba said, high up. Then the man said, where is the way? Baba said, there are many ways leading there. There is one way from here, that is from Shirdi also. The way is difficult. There are tigers, wolves in the jungles on the way. I asked, but Baba, what if we take a guide with us? Baba answered, then there is no difficulty. The guide will take you straight to your destination, avoiding wolves, tigers, and ditches, etc. on the way. If there be no guide, there is the danger of your being lost in the jungles or falling into ditches. Mr. Dabholkar was present on this occasion, and he thought that this was the answer Baba gave to the question whether Guru was a necessity by Sai Leela, and he thereupon took the hint that no discussion whether man is free or bound is of any use in spiritual matters, but on the contrary, real Paramatma is possible only as a result of the teachings of the Guru, as is illustrated in this chapter of the original work in the instances of great avatars like Ram, Krishna, who had to submit themselves to their gurus, Vasishta and Sandipani, respectively, for getting self realization, and that the only virtues necessary for such progress are faith and patience. Let's all bow to Shri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram. Having read this chapter, let's also, as usual, take Sai's message for today. Okay, chapter 2 reminds us that a guru is not someone who controls our life. Just now I said. So, we should trust our guru in every challenge, and it becomes an opportunity for growth. So, let's do Namma Sai reflection for just 1 minute. Close your eyes gently. Take a slow, deep breath. Think of one decision or challenge that has been weighing your heart down, which is making it feel very heavy. Any one decision or a challenge. Now silently repeat in your mind, Sai, I may not see the whole path right now, but I trust your guidance one step at a time. My heart is calm, my mind is clear, and I walk with faith with you. Imagine Sai Baba walking beside you with a lantern, showing his lantern. You will find your next step. Feel his presence. Take one more deep breath. While imagining this in your mind, open your eyes gently as and when you are ready. Okay, so let's do a journal question. What is that one area of my life? Just question yourself. Where I need to trust Sai's guidance instead of trying to control everything by myself. Just one area of my life. So, this is what you need to journal. And Sai practice for the week. Whenever you feel confused this week, pause for a moment, close your eyes for 10 seconds, and simply say, Sai, please guide my next step. Notice what changes in your thoughts and actions and comment here. Okay? So I welcome each one of you to do that wholeheartedly. Notice what changes in your thoughts and actions. Okay? So today's Sai Whisper, you do not need to see the entire staircase when Sai is holding your hand. Trust the next step. Leave everything to him. Okay? So let's take a closing blessing. Dear Sai, thank you for being our eternal guide. Bless every family watching today with peace, courage, and wisdom. May we learn to trust you more deeply every day. May we not only admire your teachings but live them with love. Om Sai Ram. If today's chapter brought peace to your heart, share it with someone who may need Sai's blessings today. Until next Thursday, you read, reflect, live, and think, and imagine. Om Sai Ram. So today's affirmation you can write down. Every breath fills me with trust. Every step brings me closer to Sai's wisdom. I release the need to control and welcome the peace of surrender. So Sai's golden message to all of you today: the Guru does not remove every obstacle immediately. He gives us the wisdom and strength to walk through them. Okay? Please reflect, read the chapter once again, and till next Thursday, Om Sai Ram. Sai's blessings to all of us. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Love you all.